Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tabor Talk. I'm your host, Michael Tabor, an evening edition here, getting right into it. So I'm listening to Dakota Meyer on, is that his name? Dakota Meyer? Yes. He's a former Marine. He was served in Afghanistan, and I'm just started the podcast. And Joe and Dakota were talking about violence and this sort of how we are desensitized, right, from violence. Many people who have not seen real violence first up close, like in the military, for example. You know, you have all these video games and blah, 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 blah. So, you know what's interesting? Joe got into how weird our society is when it comes to violence and sex. Okay, so let's just think about the entertainment industry or film or whatever. Okay, so we can watch the most horrible, savage murder on television or in film, and maybe get an R rated, maybe even sometimes even PG, but whatever. We're okay with that. Like, for example, my wife, last night we're watching this channel, local channel here on the Catskills called Grit. It's a Western channel. It's a very wholesome channel. A lot of old people watch this. There's a lot of death in there. There's a lot of killing. Listen, it's not graphic or anything back then. I mean, it's not real death, you know, shattering of bones and, you know. So, but what's interesting about our culture and our society is how weird we are about sex and violence. So let's just say Quentin Tarantino's latest movie, Joe was talking about it. There's a scene where Brad Pitt smashes this woman's, I haven't seen the film, but there's a violent scene where he takes this woman's head and just smashes it against the post and her brains go all over. And, you know, it's a Quentin Tarantino film, so it's very graphic and realistic. But that's okay. It's rated R and all this. But if Brad Pitt fucked, I don't know, Scarlett Johansson, and it was graphic, her legs were up in the air, and he's fucking her, boom, boom, penetration, penis into vagina, close up on Scarlett Johansson's asshole, whatever, that would be, oh, we can't show that. And like, listen, and as Joe says, something that we all love and enjoy, it's something good. It feels awesome. Sex is fucking awesome. It feels great, and nobody gets hurt. I know, of course, maybe there's exploitation and, you know, yeah, and listen, sex could go sideways. I get that. But basically, that's how we make people. That's how people are made, fucking. And it's so weird. It's so odd. Our culture. I'm going to give you another example of weirdness when it comes to sex. So, a couple of weeks ago, I'm with my mother-in-law and her brother and some cousins, and her brother's son and his wife were there, and they said, oh, Katie's pregnant. She's finally got pregnant. And everyone's going, oh, all the aunts and old ladies are like 70 and 80. That's wonderful. Katie's pregnant. And this and that. And then he's like, yeah, we were trying for so long. And now we finally got the news. And all the old ladies, oh, these blue-haired ladies. And oh, it's all wonderful right after church. Basically what she was, I shouldn't say names, but basically what he was saying is we were fucking and sucking and blowing loads and anal and fucking swallowing and jerking and sucking, and finally she's pregnant. It's so weird. That's exactly what was happening, and there's nothing wrong with it. You know, and even when you talk to your doctors, it's like, oh, here's this medication. Can you have an erection? How's your sex life? You see it on TV. You're watching these Westerns, and in between, you'll have Viagra or something. Oh, erectile dysfunction. You can't, you know, essentially a wholesome show. It's not really wholesome because there is death in Western, but I'm playing on this, but yet it is, you know, so. And then you have Viagra, and everyone's okay with it. Like, you're talking about your dick, your cock, it can't work, and you want to fuck, and you can't, and it's frustrating, all right? So it's so weird how we play games in our society with sex and violence, all right? We're okay to watch a Rob Zombie. Well, Rob Zombie's extreme, but any sort of horror movie, adventure, action where there's death. There is death. There's nothing worse than murder, right? We all agree on that in real life, but in film, you know, it's okay, and I like violent films too. I have no issue with that. But the weird one is sex. Why can't we see Brad Pitt fucking Scarlett Johansson? Why can't we see Brad Pitt's dick sliding in and out of Scarlett Johansson's pussy and even asshole? Like, why not? We're weird, that's all. I'm being a little silly because we are silly. We are silly people, all of us. All right. Good friends, good books, and a sleepy conscience. Peace, love, and understanding here on Tabor Talk.